The media is not happy. Media said, what are you going to do with the firm where the professional was a partner? Institute said, the regulator, ICA said, nothing can be done to the firm. Media asked, why? As far as the present act is concerned, the CA Act 1949 and also the regulation, the action can be only taken against an individual member but not against the firm. Then they made, why you can't take action? There is no provision. Okay, then make a provision. So naturally the provisions were made, and when it was presented to the government, they asked, oh, after 60 years you are coming now asking for an amendment to take action against the erring firms. Okay. They said, okay, why you should do it? Why not government do it? Now there was a lot of debate, and this NFRA is not authority that was conceptualized in 2013, but it was conceptualized way back in 2008 itself. Lot of hue and cry were made, lot of representations were made, and today the ICAI will recommend accounting standards and auditing standards to the authority, and the authority will issue the accounting standards and auditing standards. But that is not the only objective. The objective runs behind, continues. They took a very important powers in their hands to punish, to regulate the members of the professional body. How? To remove the members from the register of members. Already that powers is there with the regulator ICAI. They also added one more, to remove the firms also, to take action against the firm, which is the most sensitive part of NFRA. So today they have brought NFRA as part of the section 132. 132 is a very, very important section even in Income Tax Act, because power to search is 132. And here NFRA is also equally powerful section where a new authority is born. Friends, this authority, they have given 4 rules. Rule number 1 is for how we have to form a selection committee to select members of NFRA. Wow. Number 2, what should be the salary and emoluments for Rule 2, salary and emoluments for NFRA. Rule 3, who will constitute the NFRA members? Of course, there are 9 members of NFRA. Out of 9, 5 are chartered accountants, 4 are non-CAs. Well, so predominantly it is again professionals there. Today NFRA has entered into accounting and auditing standards. Tomorrow it will be cost accounting standards, and day after tomorrow it will be secretarial standards. And it's only how this the baby is formed, the baby is not yet delivered. But today the culture is once the baby is formed, the father and mother name the baby, and they also go to the school for taking prospective admissions. That is how today NFRA is happening, and today we are going to debate to what extent this new authority will pave way for professionals as an enabler. I never see this authority as a disabler. Friends, one thing is certain. What our forefathers have taught us, our principles have taught us, our principles from whom we have got the training have taught us. Go behind what is right, do what is right, be honest, and if you are a person of integrity, we need not worry about any authority. Today, the punitive actions of the law is very, very strict. Maybe if we see the debit side of it, it is so alarming. lakhs of penalty, and one starting point at which the penalty starts is the auditor should refund the remuneration, and he should also compensate the loss suffered by the person who is associated with the company. They use the word called any person. That means creditors or even banker. Maybe the first person who will take shelter under that is a banker. With this brief prelude, I will leave the podium at the safe hands of Chairman CA KL Venkata Subramaniam to give his opening remarks, then to the speaker for his presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, what should I say? I was coming here as a participant. I enrolled myself and came here as a participant. When I was about to finish my lunch, Dhanabal, my friend, called me, said that I have a problem, you come and chair a session. I was just caught unawares because I was not mentally prepared for this. Anyway, I don't know whether I should thank Dhanabal for the opportunity given to me to come and speak before you, but otherwise I should accuse him for putting me in a fix. Anyway, I'll thank him to be very positive. Frankly speaking, I have not prepared for this speech, and I should also humbly admit that I'm a little bit out of touch because I'm doing a multiple role as a CFO, group CFO, and as well as a CEO. My concentration today is more on the operation side in CEO work and less on finance, and therefore my touch of the subject is slowly coming out. So pardon me if I have overstated or understated certain points. The subject taken today is accounting, audit standards, and NFRA. Now, this new Companies Act has thrown up a lot of challenges for all the companies, the entire corporate world, I would say, and it has also thrown up more bigger challenges for group companies, where they have group companies interacting with each other. Similarly, we have a lot of issues on depreciation. Similarly, a lot of issues and a lot of responsibilities fixed on auditors. Now, coming back to accounts, it says, section 133 says that accounts and auditing standards have to be maintained as per the standards specified by NFRA. Now, NFRA will, as he rightly said, NFRA has 9 people, 5 of them are chartered accountant and 4 of them drawn from other industries, you see. And they'll get the recommendations and standards from the ICAI, and then they'll deliberate on that, and then they'll introduce it. Now, I personally feel the existing accounting standards which we follow, which is introduced by ICAI, has been good enough. I don't know why NFRA. But, there is a political agenda, and there's a image to be created to react to media reports, especially on the Satyameva Jayate, as you rightly said. They have to come out with something. So they have come out with NFRA and trying to control the whole thing. Now, as I said, this NFRA will definitely, in a manner, NFRA is really going to help us in a way that is going to have not only CAs coming in as a panel, there are going to be a lot of other people also coming from other industries. So a lot of inputs from the industry leaders, a lot of inputs from the other experts who have been doing business in the corporate world will also have an impact, will also create an impact within the panel, and therefore I hope the standards will come properly. Now, I also found with the cramming of, when they asked me to speak, I thought I should cram something, so I just crammed here. I also saw that till NFRA is notified, ICA, whatever standards, present standard is there, is going to be followed. Now, a lot of experts talked about how 185, section 185 regarding loans is going to affect the holding and subsidiary company transaction. There was also issue on depreciation which people have talked about. There are also issues on consolidation. Now consolidation, we have to do consolidation of all joint ventures. Apart from subsidiary companies, we have to do joint ventures, associate companies. I don't know what is the rules regarding affiliates. I think the expert will tell about it. Affiliates is nothing but if you hold anything more than 20%, we become affiliate. Now, whether affiliates have to be included inside the consolidation is not, that is a question I think not being clarified, and that has to be taken for clarification. And as regards intercorporate loans, there has been a lot of problem. It's going to it is going to show a lot of challenges to the auditors, and auditors reporting vis-a-vis the kind of relationship they have to maintain with the client is going to be a big challenge. I don't know how the auditing fraternity is going to take this and come out and face the challenges. Similarly, there's a section, another section, I saw 143 on fraud reporting. The auditors, feel that there's some, in his opinion, there's some fraud has been taking place. He has a right to directly go and report to central government. So this is also going to throw up a lot of challenges. It's going to be a war between integrity and business relationship, and going to be a lot of conflict between all these things. So I am not a real expert to speak all these things. I just wanted to make some small opening remarks because of a request from our friend Dhanabal. So I'll hand over the mic to technical expert Sriram Pasadi for your listening. I also thank Raju for a very nice introduction for me. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Share with you one of the jokes which has been shared by one of my colleagues. Accountant worries about his future till such time he prepares the balance sheet. Accountant worries about his future till such time he prepares the balance sheet. Auditor worries about his future after he signs the balance sheet. Right? We are living in this world now. I mean, as an auditor, just imagine now the kind of grilling or the kind of expectations from different stakeholders that we all go through is going to be quite interesting. With this kind of background, the subject that I'm going to touch upon today within this 45-minute schedule is broadly covering three broad areas. One on accounting standards, number two on auditing standards, and number three on NFRA. Quite a lot has been said on NFRA, but I will also touch upon why NFRA and what is the origin, how it is supposed to function and all this. Before I jump into the accounting standard part, first let's understand why this Companies Act, what is the big deal about this entire Companies Act? What is it about to say? I mean, if you look at it, we have been kind of dealing with this Companies Act for almost like 60 plus years, since 1956. And all of a sudden now there is a big hype about new Companies Act, new Companies Act. What is it? Is it going to make such a big change? The answer is definitely yes. Why? That is because whatever has not been done for so many years, the government is trying to do it at one go. Last 60 years, whatever has not been done, now they are trying to do a solid catch up and also try to cover what is required to be done for the next 10 years. The change is enormous. So to that extent, probably, I mean, according to us, I would think probably all the professionals need to go back to the school to understand the basic concepts, redefine what needs to be done, and the roles have been redefined, responsibilities have been redefined. We have to necessarily understand this in totality. As far as the Companies Act is concerned, broadly, there are three things which are very, very important. The first and the foremost thing is that trust has been given for governance, right? That is probably something which everybody is talking about. The second thing is transparency, up to what extent you are actually doing things openly. Then the third one is flexibility to the administrator. If you look at it, the act, even for the purpose of making a small amendment, they have to go to the parliament and they have to come up with various procedures. So now these three things have been kind of combined and a lot of flexibility has been given to the administrator. Now you will see, while as of now the act has been passed, there are only 98 sections that have been notified and the rules are yet to become operational. Unless the rules are finalized, this act is not going to actually kind of have its real impact. So to that extent, rules are absolutely essential, but nevertheless we have to understand the core principles which are going to be, literally dictating the corporate structure. There are certain significant changes that have come up in accounting standards and the auditing standards. We have to get ready for these conceptual changes.